Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. The final day of summer sees us getting ready to start our barley harvest. You can see we're attacking our field just over here. Our worker is busy running up and down fields 44 with the weeder there to get that up to stage 3. All of our cornfields have now been sprayed. That was finished off last night, and so we don't have any more fertilising to worry about other than grass if we do another cut of grass, which we will do. We need to make sure we've got a nice amount of silage here at the farm, and we're going to be doing a little bit of corn chatting, so we'll have some silage to sell at the BGA as well. But for starters, I just want us to go around and put in some borders on my field. So I'm putting in a nice little border just there. I'm going to try and split this field up a little bit into easy to manage sections. I don't know if I'm going to bale the entire field. It's going to be an awful lot of baling. I suppose what we could do is we could potentially try and get a loading wagon. See, I remember the days when we could use the combines, not the combines, sorry, the forage harvesters to actually pick up straw off the fields back in Farming Sim 15, and I used to do that a lot with the harvesters. You know, initially with the Krona Big M, and then once they released it as a DLC pack, the New Holland forage harvester. I used to use those with the sort of grass attachment that we used on our Rostel mash to actually scoop the grass off the field. I used to use that to pick up straw, because you used to be able to chaff the straw and use it in the BGAs to help build silage, but just the ability to pick it up off the ground would be useful, even if we can't actually chaff it. You know, just to use the forage harvester to pick it up would be great. But unfortunately the heads don't support that in 17. That feature was taken out, so can't do that anymore. As I say, a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So we could look at maybe getting a forage harvester, sorry, a loading wagon, and then just using that to run straw to the barn sell point. It's going to mean a lot of back and forth work, but in theory we should get more money than baling. In theory. I'm not actually sure if we're going to lose price for the straw. Haven't tried selling straw loose, so I'm not 100% certain on that. We should do. I'm just a little wary of being overwhelmed by a massive straw harvest. So I think what we'll probably do is we'll probably chop the wheat fields. We won't need to bale those. You know, we don't need a huge number of straw bales, if I'm honest. So I don't want to get too bogged down by too much sort of straw work on this field. It'll end up just dominating most of the day. I don't know. We'll see. We'll also play it by ear, I suppose, see how things kind of shake out. But I want to try and create a border around this field to make it into easier to work sections, and we can kind of review our progress on each of those sections in terms of the amount of bales that are being produced, and see whether or not it's something I want to do across the whole field or just sections of this field. So these edges here that I'm cleaning up, obviously this is stuff that we're just chopping. We're not... nearly ran that over with a back tyre. This is just areas that we're just chopping just to clean the edge and give us a nice, easily defined area for our AI to work within. And some nice cleaner edges rather than these kind of weird shaped sides that we have down here. And you can see how quickly this thing's filling up as well. This is going to be the other problem with this. It's such a long field then our combines are going to fill up ridiculously quickly. I don't even know if we'll be able to get a full pass down this field before the combines fill, and if they can't, that's going to be a problem. It's going to prevent us from running 2 combines, so we may have to chop the field up or work it from a different angle if that's the case. This field is going to present some interesting challenges for us, I think. Let's get the pipe out. We'll get ready to unload just here. Jump into the Magnum. There we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run across that little bit there. I'm going to carry that on in a straight line to the other end of the field so I can put a border in on that far edge over there by the tree line. And then we'll start running up and down and seeing whether or not we've actually got enough space in the tank to do a full pass in the grain hopper, because I'm not 100% convinced. I might have to chop part of the field a little bit and run shorter lengths to be able to make sure I can get the combines turning it over. So if we run here, this will give us a kind of a decent indication. If we can run from here all the way to the end without filling up, that'll give us a reasonably good indication as to whether or not we can do a full length pass for this upper section, which actually goes out a fair bit long, further in some places. With an extra maybe 1,000 litres or so. Maybe not quite that much, but certainly an extra half, 500 litres at least, I would say, per pass. Once the field straightens out a bit. And we've got a clearer look at the rest of our year's weather now. As you can see, we're into that kind of final period of good weather that we've definitely got. We've got today, tomorrow, and then Saturday. And then we've got rain forecast for days 3 and 4 of autumn, the Sunday and Monday. A clear day on the Tuesday, and then rain on the final day of autumn, and then raining going into winter as well. Of course, all the crop has to be off the field by Wednesday at the very latest. That's the last day we've got to harvest. Because once that day hits, once we hit Thursday, anything we do have left on the field is dead, basically. So we've got plenty of time to get our crops off the field. I'm not worried time-wise. We've already got the canola out the way. We'll get the barley out the way today. Possibly even get started on the wheat, depending on how long it takes to get us to get this field done. So if we just write off everything else today, just say barley only today, that means tomorrow we can do wheat. Saturday we can do corn or sunflowers, whichever of those is going to be ready. Sunday we can do beets, possibly even Monday we can get back into harvesting again. It all depends on how quickly or when the rain falls on those days. If it falls in the morning like it did last year, then it's going to wipe us out for most of the day while we wait for everything to dry out. But if it falls in the afternoon or evening, then we can just get an early start and get most, if not all, of the work we need to get done that day done before the rain hits. So we have good options. And you can see we had less than 8,000 litres in the tank after a pass. So I'm pretty confident we can do a full length pass all the way from one end of the field to the other without the need, or without the risk of our combines filling up. You can see there is our 80% warning just there. So we'll be able to run 2 combines on this field. We just have to be very careful about the positioning of them so that we can unload them and they're not going to conflict with each other in terms of which one needs to be. They both need unloading at exactly the same time, because then we're going to have problems where one's going to keep going and the other one's going to stop. And with straw, I don't like to get those really big clumps in the middle of a pass when a combine stops and just dumps everything onto the ground behind it. I like to have a smooth transitional run all the way along. So like that there, you can see it's just dumping. I mean, this is chopped, but if that was a swath, we just have this huge great big pile, then a break, and then it would carry on again or start again. And I want to avoid that from happening if at all possible. So I need to bring the Magnum down here so I can empty this here, and then we'll start splitting our combines and running across this section here. So I'll see you in just a moment once the second combine is up and running. Okay, now that's interesting. This started pretty much at the maximum possible width, and it doesn't quite make it, as you can see, before it fills up. So I kind of immediately backed up to spread that pile so we don't have a huge, great big pile there. So what I'm going to do is, I was going to get this one up and running, but instead I'm going to do another headland at this end of the field, just to take a little bit more width off, and I might well do the same at the other end as well, because it's a little too close for comfort in terms of tank capacity. I prefer it to be a little bit more leeway. You see here, look, even that isn't going to be enough for this whole top section. We're going to need to take more off as well. So yeah, even doing this, it's still going to be really tight. I might possibly have to do a third pass down here. Again, not really something I wanted to do, but may prove to be necessary just to keep this thing running. Because we didn't do barley on this last year. Well, we did wheat, but which is similar kind of yield, but these were two separate fields last year. You know, we only joined them this time around, so at least I think that's the case. Did I have these joined last year? I honestly don't remember. Well, no, I had these joined, but I straw swapped these, if I remember right. I'm trying to remember what I did last year on this field, and without actually going back and checking, I can't be 100% certain. So let's do an extra pass here, and I'll do another one at the other end as well. I need to move the other combine out of the way. Don't just turn the engine off. Back her up a bit. There we go. And there we go. That'll give me a little bit of leeway at this end, and it'll be fine once we get onto the other section, that second section there to the right of the other combine that we've created. You know, that section there that we've created doesn't run as far, but this section here, which is quite a wide section, this actually runs right to the very edge of the field, and it's just a little bit too long for our combines to be comfortable. So yeah, this will help, and I may well need to take a patch off the other end as well. Although having said that, I did have about 1,000 litres or so in the tank when I started this pass, so actually this should be enough. Maybe I won't need to do anything at the other end. There we go. So to make sure that I can empty this combine on the way back down, this one is going to start on the other section, and then I can pull alongside and get this one emptied, and this will give me the balance that I need between our two combines as well, so that one is going to be filling up while the other one's being emptied, kind of thing. So I get that in position just there. I'm going to start them just yet. Let's there we go. Hide the cutting discs and go to a swathing. This one, turn the engine off again. This one needs to be emptied, and then that'll start at the far end over there. And then we can empty that combine on that way down the field, and then coming back down this way we can empty this one. So we can just kind of loop from one combine to the other, making sure that they get emptied each pass. If I park there for a second, let's grab the Magnum. There we go. So I need to start this combine up. As soon as the other one is finished unloading. Okay, that's close enough. So we'll get that started. There we go. And now I can get this one started. Like that. That is swathing, good. And that one should be swathing as well. And it is, excellent. So now, this side, well, this combine will be unloading on this pass, while the other one will be filling up, and then when we turn around, we'll run the Magnum alongside the other combine, and that'll be unloading while this one is filling up, and then we'll get back to that end of the field, switch back to this combine, and just loop around basically, and unload and fill, and unload and fill, and then hopefully we'll get in a position where we can literally just scoot over to the silo, which is what I'm going to do after this pass is complete. Scoot over to the silo, unload, and then back onto that combine for that pass going back across the field that way. So that's the plan, to keep everything ticking over and just working very smoothly for the next few hours while we clear these two sections here. We're getting through this field really quickly. I think there's only going to be one more pass for this particular combine. Still a lot more for the other one, as you can see, but we are ploughing through this really fast. So I need to go and do a quick unload because I haven't got enough space for two more passes. You can see, or two more unloads. You know, one on each combine. It's taken over half the capacity just for an unload on each. So I have to do this every time we get back down to this end of the field, is do an unload of about 36,000 litres or so. Just a quick progress check on that. We are up to, well, this is going to take me over 100,000 litres. So that's not a bad little haul to start with already. And there's a lot more on this field to go, as you can see. I just triggered a 80% warning on the combine. I need to get this unloaded as quickly as possible. I'm just looking to see, is the other one turned around yet? Almost. Yeah, we'll make it in time. There we go. Yeah, it's just starting off. So I've had one little splutter where I did accidentally fill up a little bit too soon and couldn't get to an unload point on the other combine. Whoa! That was careless. Just knocked it offline ever so slightly. There we go. But apart from that, these have all been completely unbroken. So there's one line that has a little break in it on the other side, but the rest of them are all nice and smooth, unbroken lines like this, and that'll just make it easier for baling because I won't have these massive clumps that'll take a couple of attempts to clear in one go. So yeah, very pleased. It's going to make baling nice and straightforward on this field, and that's going to take a long time. You know, just doing the baling itself, because I can't do that until the combining is finished, simply because I'm having to nurse both of these combines all the way, so there is no break in service. No chance for me to go and just grab the baler and work a line. So all the baling's going to get done once the harvest itself is complete. It's getting trickier now because the combines are spacing themselves out a lot more, as you can see, but that one is on its final pass, so I don't have to worry about that one getting too far ahead when it turns around, because it's not going to have anything to turn around into now. It's on its final pass to finish that section off, so it'll just be this one that I'll need to worry about while I reposition and start working the other combine. And that bit there, I think I'm just going to chop. I don't think I'm going to bale that section there. It's going to be awkward trying to get that clean with nice, you know, consistent lines like this, so I'll just chop that section instead of swathing it. So this section here that I'm working on with this combine, this is the last remaining stuff that'll be baled up. And then with the rows over there, that's a lot. That's a lot of straw to process, and we're only going to need to keep, I don't know, maybe a couple of dozen bales to just top up what we have right now. I mean, manure usage at this point is quite low. Oh, is he trying to turn around into the field again? I think he is. I'm going to have to tab through and stop him. Yeah, he's right. He was right on the edge to clip that other bit there. So we'll park that there. Let's tab back through. I don't like tabbing through, but sometimes when you have a real time-sensitive job like this, you just don't have a choice. So I want to make sure that this gets tagged again before it turns, just to make sure it's completely empty. There we go. Now we'll unload the other combine, and then we'll get it to work clearing out the other stuff, but simply as a chop rather than as a swath. Main bulk of the field is almost done now. We've just got that little bit left to do on the other side. It doesn't matter if this stops now, because we're not, you know, creating swaths. We're chopping all of this. Let's just try and get that a little bit closer. There we go. There's a very, very thin strip left, so we are going to have another pass. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the merger in a moment and start merging these rows of straw together, just so we can cut down on the number of passes that we have to make with the baler, and also try and speed that process up a little bit. It'll also, hopefully, if we're creating more and more bales per pass, it'll mean that those stacks will be closer together, so it'll be easier for us to sort of maneuver around them. So let's find, where is it going to be parked? I think it's going to be parked just about there. Nope, that's not it. It's going to be there. No, it's somewhere behind the forage and chips thing. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. The Optum. So let's just drop that there for a second. Don't fall over. There we go. I nearly went for a tumble. Let's grab the weeder, not the weeder, that's what I've just dropped down. Let's grab the let's grab the merger. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. There we go. So hopefully we can bring these rows together and we can just combine them Even if not fully, we can partially combine them enough so that we can actually, you know, speed up our baling process, make it a bit more streamlined, a bit more efficient. There we go. So a little bit of an overlap like that. That's about right. Let's just check which way the belts are feeding. They're feeding out the wrong way, so we need to change the direction. There we go. And there we go. We'll start merging these swaths together to create some nice, good-sized, fat swaths of straw. Get all that kind of tidied up, and just cut down the number of passes we have to make with the baler by about 50% or so. Our combine's just finishing off on that field. I think that's his final pass that he's about to start there, so we'll be able to redirect the Magnum onto baling duty in just a moment. But you can see here the difference that the Optum is making with the merger to our straw swathing here. You can see there just how closely spaced those are in comparison to these rows just here. You know, we're doubling up, we're cutting down the number of passes we're going to have to make by half. We'll spit the bales out faster because there's more material to process with each pass. So we'll have, you know, stacks of 4 bales that'll be a lot closer to each other, I think, potentially. We'll have stacks of 4 that are closer together, which will make it easier to gather them off the field when it comes to actually loading them on the trailer to take over to the barn, the sell point. Brain just went dead for a second there. What I have also done, just to help speed up our processes a little bit more as well, is I have got in touch with Sam at Manning's and made what may well be the final purchase we make from Manning's, and that is to order a loading wagon. That should be with us sort of by mid-afternoon. Hopefully it'll be available for us to go and collect by mid-afternoon, and then we'll use that to gather straw off our other 2 fields there, and then just run it loose over to the barn. I think that'll be a quicker and easier method of getting straw that we're going to sell, you know, off the field and into the sell point, and hopefully being loose will actually make more money than we would using bales as well. So, I mean, we could stick loose straw in the silo and just use that to feed the cows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the straw. I'm going to dump some straw into the silo and do a test to see whether or not I can actually get a 70,000 litre trailer to the, you know, through that tight barn entrance. And if I can, then we'll sell all of the straw with a 70,000 litre trailer. But if we can't, then the 50,000 litre loading wagon is going to be much easier to, you know, manoeuvre around that tight entrance and those narrow fenceway entrances at the barn. So we'll kind of stick to using that where we can't get in. This is the last of the barley taken off the field. There's nothing left to be harvested now, I think. Let me just quickly double check. Yeah, it's all completely harvested, as you can see. So let's see how much we have in store. So we have 195,000. Can we hit 200? We can. Still going. It's 208, 209, 210. 211,711 litres. That's quite a large amount. That is just a fraction over 3 full trailers. Our trailers can hold 70,000 litres each, so we'll end up with 1,700 litres of barley left over after 3 complete tips. That's that's a little frustrating. I was hoping that we could do everything in a single run. It means when we make our second run, when we come to sell our barley, we're going to have one trailer that's got 70,000 litres in it, another one that's got 1,700 litres. It's going to be pretty much empty when we take it over. So perhaps a touch frustrating that we couldn't quite get it all in. It's my fault for just being too damn prolific with the barley. Never mind. Let's move on. So we'll park this up here. We probably won't do any more harvesting today, but we'll leave it there just in case. And let's go grab our baling equipment. Now normally I wouldn't use the Magnum to do the baling, but because the Optum is still running the tedder, not the tedder, sorry, the merger. I always get windrowers and tedders mixed up, I don't know why. We're going to use the Magnum for this instead. The Puma has done more than its fair share of work on this farm. It's I'm not sure how many hours it's got on it now. A lot. Nearly 70 hours, 68.5 hours on it. So we're just kind of reducing that to yard work now for the rest of our farm's run. Oh, the merger has stopped at that point there, so we'll have to reposition him. He's missed that little section there, which is a bit odd. What is going on with our worker? He just got, a telegraph pole in the very far distance and just goes, I'm not getting anywhere near that thing, and just stopped. Which way are my belts spitting out again? Are they spitting out to the right? Yes, they are. So that's effectively that row is finished. But what has gone on over here? Why is this? Something's gone very, very wrong along here. So let's see, went that way, came back down, merged, went up that way, should have come back down and merged but didn't. Started merged, I don't know what's gone on here, I really don't. That's very odd. So we'll restart the merging again, just here. And this could end up making a monstrously wide row, which is just going to give us an insane amount. Oh, I'll bet I hit a break in crop. Perhaps. I don't know. But this is going to give us a monstrously fat row once this is done. So we'll just jump out, let him carry on doing that. We're going to start baling over here. So let's get everything unfolded. Open that down. Unfold, lower. Did I unfold the back of this? No, I didn't. Good. Get the baler turned on. There we go. Speed up cruise control. And look how quickly we're producing bales. That's a bale. That's another bale. This thing's going to spit these out ridiculously quickly. And when we get to that row, that new super row that we're making, oh, it's just going to be insane how fast they fly out on that row there. We're going to have to really slow down for that one, I think. This thing can't even keep up at the moment. I have to stop to do my unloads. Let's slow down. Cruise control to 10 miles an hour. See if that just helps make this a little bit easier. We're not running quite so fast. The bales weren't being produced quite so fast. It gives our quadra-pack time to load them and then unload them. And get closed back up again for the next bale. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be us again for a little while now. Is just making these stacks of bales, and then once they're done and we hit the bale limit, we'll grab the turbo farmer and our bale trailer and start loading them up, ready to take down to the mine. Actually, that's going to be a great way to test how well we can get in and out. It's the same length trailer, so we've done it before with our hay bales, so yeah, we shouldn't have any problems taking the 70,000 litre trailers in there. So yeah, when we get our loading wagon, then we'll make straw on our other fields. We'll collect it all up with a loading wagon, dump it in the silo, and then we'll take 70,000 litre trailers down and use those to tip the straw. Oops. We bounce a bale there? I think we did. This row's probably a little bit fatter. I'm going to slow the cruise control down to 8. It'll take us a little bit longer, but it'll be a little bit more controlled with these bales. Be able to keep going on a continuous pace like this. Especially when we get to, you know, rows that have got more material in them. So I'll carry on baling like this, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. So we are at the bale limit. Get positioned. There we go. Out of the way. So now we need to start scooping these up. There's not too much left to do row-wise, but big stacks of bales there, as you can see. So time for us to go grab the Merlot Turbo Farmer so that we can start grabbing those. And we also need our truck and our bale trailer, which are tucked away around here. Let's see, there's the truck. Bale trailer 2 along. There it is. And of course we can't use the black truck for a while because that's still converted as a hook lift. So it'll be a little while until we can use that truck again for haulage purposes. We need to wait until the orchard kind of shuts down. We'll convert that back ready for the winter sell-off. But everything else is going to be done by our original red truck here. So let's get this onto the field. There we go. That should do. Now we need to go get the telehandler, which is lurking on the sort of barn shed just over there, other side of the silo, where our water trailer and our mixer live. And we can see now it's coming up on 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's not too late yet, but time is ticking on, and I think by the time we get all this stuff done, we're just not going to have enough time to get anything else done today. So we've got all the important stuff out of the way. You know, we made sure yesterday that our fields were fully fertilised. There's no more fertilising work that needs to be done now. We've weeded our grass field again, so that's now at stage 3, so that doesn't need to be done until it's cut again. All of the, you know, kind of important stuff has been done. This is stuff that we're going to be selling, but we'll also be keeping some straw bales as well. We'll keep whatever we get from our remaining sort of straw bale. We'll sell off all of these bales first of all. Let's try and do this the way we did it with our hay bales. So let's double stack these. So I'll just slide that back along like that. Just push these forward. Try and get them nice and square. There we go. Raise the forks up a little bit. Try and get the angle about right. That looks good. Excellent stuff. Even with that rear weight, we are still a bit wobbly. I just know we would be all over the place if we didn't have that rear weight attached. It's such a great little mod, that weight on the back of the telehandler there, just to give us that little bit more stability. Oop. Push that forward again. There we go. So let's get those strapped down. And time to carry on filling up our bale trailer. So let's see how much we get for these straw bales. 398 per bale. That's not great when you consider how much we were getting for hay. We were getting quite a lot for hay. Right, let me just check. You see, we don't have prices listed for loose. I don't know if I can actually sell loose straw. I've never tried selling loose material on this. I know that you can't sell grass on any map with seasons. There are no prices on this one listed for loose straw or loose hay. So I don't know whether or not I can actually sell loose material for either of those two products. All the hay that we've sold as baled. We haven't sold loose, so I genuinely don't know whether or not I can sell loose straw. I think I need to do a quick test on this. Yeah, I'm going to scoop up a little bit of straw in a bucket in the Puma and take it over and tip the bucket and see what happens. So let's take a quick scoop. There we go, that's enough, a couple of 1,000 litres, that'll do. So let's take this over to... Oops, don't want to get in the way of those. Let's take this over to the barn and check whether or not we can make any money selling it loose, because if we can't, then this will determine whether or not I cancel my order for a loading wagon or not. It's already been paid for, and I've been told, that it's, waiting for collection. But, I do have, a cooling off period to actually cancel that order and have it returned. I might lose a couple of grand, but I don't mind losing a couple of grand rather than spending 131 grand on something that I can't really get any benefit from. So if this actually gives me some cash, then we'll know that we can tip loose and the loading wagon isn't going to be a huge waste of time and money. Getting close to the moment of truth. Will we make some cash? Please say yes. No, we didn't make any money, so we can't sell loose. So, in that case, I need to get on the phone pretty quick to Sam and just say, you know what, send it back. I don't want it. I want my money back. Because there's no point gathering up the material if we can sell it, if we can't make any money selling it. And I know someone will probably say, well, you could sell it at the BGA and get digestate. Yes, I could, but what's the point? You know, we're not going to be here to put slurry on the fields next year. You know, this is our final year, so you know, we just have to make sure we bale it and sell it, which means I'm just going to chop the remaining 2 fields. I'm not going to mess around with the baling. I mean, you can see now it's just gone 5 o'clock in the evening, and it's taking too long with the baling process. So we'll just chop the straw on our 2 remaining fields. Let's not bother. We'll bale up the rest of this field that we're working on right now, and then after that we'll just chop the straw on the other 2 fields, on the wheat fields, and not bother with baling at all. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. So we're really squeezing these bales on here. I'm a little worried about that last stack. Nope, it's hanging on enough. There we go. Get that strapped down nice and quick. So that's the second full trailer of bales to sell. And that's what we have left. 1, 2, I think there's another one a bit further down. So maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then a partial stack there, so we'll keep those back, and then if we have too many bales we can sell them later in the year, but we'll go and sell these. So pull our way in, 2, 4, 6, 7, and then a couple down there as well, maybe 8, 9. Yeah, like I say, I think we've got about 9 stacks left. One of those is a 3-bale stack and a 4-bale stack. Really careful on these 90-degree turns not to roll the trailer. This could be interesting as well, going over here, the ramp. Be nice and slow. See, it's rocking a bit. I have squeezed an extra stack on that I wouldn't normally have got on there, I think. How many stacks are we carrying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stacks. Yeah, so normally we carry 12 stacks, so 48 bales. We're actually carrying an extra stack, so we've got 52 bales on the back of this. So combined with the other 48, that's 100 bales sold. And at what, 380 a bale? That's not too bad at all, is it? That's 38 grand in straw. Nice little income. I have cancelled my order and for the loading wagon, and as you can see the money is back in the account now. So I've got that money back. There was no point buying a wagon to load loose straw, which we then couldn't sell. We could only give away for free, so if that's the case, and we don't want to get into baling on the other fields, because you can see now it's 7:30. You know, the baling has taken almost as long as the harvest itself. You know, it's too much work for the 2 remaining fields that we have, you know, the wheat fields. So instead we will, as I say, just chop the straw on those 2 fields and be done with it. There's no point spending 130 grand on something that's not going to recoup any of its investment money. So that 131 is now back in our account. There we go, we're on the road. Nice and stable. And so all that remains now is to get the remaining stacks off the field and get them in that little shed around the corner from where our cows are, where we still got our other straw bales stored. We'll load that shed up, and then I don't think we're going to need all that straw. I honestly don't, but we'll have them there. And as I say, we can sell those later in the year if we have bales left over. Who knows, if the next owner of the field wants to keep the livestock, then maybe we'll just negotiate a price for the livestock and the remaining feed materials that we have, rather than selling everything off and him having to sort of buy in fresh livestock and bring materials in. We'll see. Just squeeze our way around here. And there we go. Oh, 398. That's a little bit better than we got last time, I think. So the bale price has gone up a little bit. Like I said, I think we've got 380 on the first set of bales. I honestly don't remember. And we're wedged. Back the trailer out. Take this at a different angle. There we go. So I'll get back to the farm, I'll get those other bales kind of stacked up in the shed and tucked away. Nothing coming? Yep. And then lock the farm up for the night, and tomorrow we'll do our wheat harvest. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and Jim Bob and I'll be back with some more Lone Oak Farm very soon.